I will be running Ballance for you, as I like to pronounce it, but I really am not sure how it is supposed to be pronounced. So I guess I can get right into it. I'll just give you a countdown for the timer, and then I'll just start explaining as I go. I will start in 3, 2, 1, go. So right away, you will notice some shenanigans going on. Whoops. Slightly missed that. This is, believe it or not how the game is supposed to be played. Oh, no. Sticky keys! Where is the damn setting for it? I hate sticky keys. No, where is the... It's off. It's off. Why did it... It doesn't react when I click on it. Is it? It tabbed me out of the game too. Now the game's gonna be all messed up. Yeah, look at that. It looks all... God damn it. Great start. Can I please... Okay, I mean, the menu still works. Let me just restart the game. Yeah, sorry for that. I forgot that sticky keys is a thing. I hate sticky keys. At least now you get to see the nice intro screen for it. Let me double check that. Okay, sticky keys is no longer stickying like it should be. Okay, let's try that again. 3, 2, 1, go. First time! All right, so right away I will be... damn it. Got a slight collision. I hope that should work. Yes, there we go. Yeah, as you can see, right away I'm zooming a little bit. This is an oversight of sorts, you might call it, in the game, where if you pause the game as it is still loading in, and then unpause, the game kind of gets confused as to whether you're in control or not. So when you press an input, it stores that input, but when you let go of the input, it doesn't subtract the force that it applies to the ball. So while the spawn animation is happening, I can just kind of stack up multiple... I can just kind of stack up force on the ball. Oh, come on. And go zooming. Right afterwards, you can... Oh my. You might also notice, if you know the game at all, or if you were paying attention earlier, that I was kind of doing some funky things to the camera. This game usually has a camera that is only supposed to rotate at 90-degree angles. But if you kind of keep trying to rotate the camera while it is in the process of... Oh, let's not restart. While it is already in the process of rotating, you can slightly offset the camera angle. And because the game does not normalize inputs, you can actually move slightly faster that way, because it basically adds out one force in one direction, one force in another direction, and effectively you go 1.4 or exactly √2 times as fast as you would usually go, which is quite helpful for going fast. We're nearing the end of the first level after some initial struggle. But yeah, while we're waiting for the next level, why don't you let me know if there's any messages.
Absolutely. Thank you very much, because we do actually have a donation here from Ricold's mom. And the donation message reads, "Thank you all for contributing to mental health awareness." So thank you very much to Ricold's mom. Much appreciated.
Yes, thank you very much. All right, yeah. Right now, I'm actually using the glitch that I used in level 1 again, but not to such an extreme degree. I have buffered a single forward input, so right now I actually have it's like I'm constantly pressing up, and then when I actually press up, it's like I'm pressing up twice. The downside of that is I can never actually go backwards up until this point where I hit a transformer, which allows me to reset the stored momentum back to normal. Right there, I also reapplied that offset camera glitch, because right here we have a section where we have this wavy path that usually the stone ball does not have enough. It just can't climb up that steep of a hill without any initial velocity, which you cannot build up there. But by offsetting the camera like that, as I already explained, we get additional force into the ball, and that allows us to just skip most of that part of the level. There we see the end of the level coming up. Now coming up, we actually have the most difficult skip in the entire game, at least in my opinion. We will see if I can pull it off. I'll give it probably 2 or 3 attempts, and then I shall do it the more conventional way. Okay, that doesn't count as an attempt. That's hardly anything. Once again, I am doing a forward input, buffering one. So right now, I actually physically cannot move backwards. Even though I'm holding backwards right now, I'm not going anywhere. Okay, I've got the first part of the skip, but this is not it. Whoa, what the... That dome impact sounded very funky. That had some distortion on it. I'm not sure whether that also sounded like that on stream, but not quite what it's supposed to sound like. Slightly too early. Okay, I'll just keep going. It's a bit of a shame. So what I'm supposed to do here is use the extra momentum to jump to this lower platform whilst keeping the wooden ball, and that way I could have jumped all the way to that platform you can see in the far left corner, skipping this section right here. And after that, I would have been able to still keep that momentum and jump once more off to the left corner of this platform here in order to skip this whole section of the level as well. But as I said, it is, at least in my opinion, the most difficult trick in the game. So my hopes weren't super high that I would pull it off first try, but give it a shot. I think right now I might actually be controlling the stone ball. I don't know, in level 1 I briefly controlled stone ball for a time, but it was very briefly since I switched away from it rather quickly. The stone, there's 3 different kinds of material in the game. There's paper, which I'm playing as right now, which is very nimble, but it's not very strong, so it can't push anything out of the way. But it is very light, so it can get blown up by these fans. There's wood, which is just kind of a middle-of-the-road material, but it is smooth as opposed to paper, which is very bumpy. And then there's stone, which is very powerful, but it can't really get up any significant inclines. And it has a lot of inertia, so especially casually, it's actually very hard to control the stone ball without overshooting and going places you did not intend to go, usually off the stage. Let's see. Okay, here I will get another camera skew if it cooperates with me. So far it's not. There we go. Oh, that's not quite where I meant to go, but it's not a big problem. Yeah, we have a big hill climb here, and the camera skew really helps getting up this hill more quickly. There's some balls coming our way, though, so I kind of have to dodge these. And I messed up royally, so now they are just kind of pummeling me. If you make it up here quickly enough, you can actually see some of them spawning in, which is kind of fun. Here we'll also be doing a small skip. You're supposed to push all those stone balls down this slope, but you can actually push just a single stone ball down and then ride it all the way across the gap and to the next checkpoint. So while I'm redoing this section, why don't you read us another message?
Absolutely, because we actually have some support coming in for you here, Leemyy. We got 10 euros and 20 cents coming in from Leon Makar. Good luck, Leemyy, from the room. Extra 20 cents for the can. Thank you very much, Leon.
I think it was just 15 cents, but 20 will do.
Hey, that's 5 cents bonus as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah. All right, now since I don't have an offset camera, it should be, a bit less tricky to get this. The downside of the offset camera glitch is that, at least to me, it is a relatively novel glitch, since when I initially learned this game, I didn't know about it. So I only recently really started practicing with this skew glitch in mind, and it does throw off. It does mess with the way the game controls quite a bit, because you're very used to the ball just moving along the axes very cleanly without any sidewards deviation, unless you're playing it as paper. But when you have the camera skew, you never get a perfect 45-degree skew. So you always have to kind of do micro corrections, and it gets very tricky very easily. Here we see, if I can get the last bit of this, there we go. Here we will see another application of the skew. Because it gives me extra momentum, I can actually skip over this entire... Whoa, okay, let's try that again. Yeah. That was the fact that the skew was not perfectly aligned in action. I did not pay attention to where I was actually going, and I paid for it. Ooh, did I over-rotate? I feel like I over-rotated that. Okay, fixed it. Okay, let's try that again. So right here, there's that bridge you're supposed to knock over, but because of the skew, I can just kind of jump across the gap without any issues. Oh. Yeah, so that stone transformer, you can dodge around and then go slightly faster in this next section, but it's not a huge problem. Instead, I will just push these stone balls out of the way and continue down. Game is actually being surprisingly quiet. Usually I swear it usually plays a bit more music. Possible that it didn't like the music and didn't load it in or something. I don't know. I'm not gonna mess any further with the settings. We already had one issue with those sticky keys. I'm not gonna provoke anything. Oh, that box is properly in the way. Sir, do you mind? I would like to pass through. Oh, please do not. This might become a problem. Let's see if I can get this out of here. Please, can you, like, get off the stage? Thank you. Ooh, is that... Okay, that wasn't out under... There we go. You can actually soft lock yourself here if you push a box just far enough that the ball can make it more than halfway out from under that stone block. The stone block has so much friction on top of the wooden ball that it completely immobilizes it because the box is also there to stop it from going any further forward. I'm glad I avoided that. Here there's an intended puzzle. I don't even remember the solution for this because you can just... Oh, well, you can go around that. Or alternatively, you can just respawn with the paper ball and do this, which also works. Okay, that was level 5. Yes, coming up level 6. Oh no, that was the wrong input. There we go. Okay. Yeah, this is a very long, just kind of straightaway section. So if you have any messages, now would be a good time.
Absolutely. I do want to remind everybody that we do still have another bonus game coming up tomorrow. It's going to be a good one. It's going to be the one and only TaskBot playing Zelda 2: The Adventure of Link. It's going to be a milestone incentive, so it's all about the total donations for this marathon. We want to be reaching 9,000, so that is definitely still a way to go, but we can absolutely make that. I believe in everybody. So, and if you also want to put it towards a different incentive alongside that milestone incentive, that is, of course, possible. We currently still have an open incentive for Crash Bandicoot 3, a donation incentive to use the sound effects in that game. So if that's also something that you want to contribute to, you can do 2 at the same time. Very much.
Ooh. Okay. must admit I do not quite have enough practice with the offset camera, I feel like. In some places I probably would be better off not reapplying it when I fail and reapply it, but I'm just so used to those offset strats by now that... Please? Let me past, Mr. Stonewall. What you're supposed to do here is go take that side path that you can... Oh, come on. That wooden side path you can see. But instead, what I like to do is just smuggle my way past this stone ball and slowly bump these boxes out of the way. Believe it or not, this is still significantly faster than taking the intended route. Even though they are really not being cooperative right now. Luckily, the more you bump them, the more runway you have to bump them again. I think something that I haven't mentioned so far is that the ending in every level actually has... Okay, maybe I shouldn't talk about that, what I need to focus on. Ooh, that... There we go. Thank you. What I was trying to say there, the ending of the level, it actually has its own little musical jingle that plays when you're really close to the actual, like, I don't know what you want to call it, like a little zeppelin or whatever. It's like a platform with balloons on it. That's kind of what a zeppelin is, I guess. Yeah, when you're close to it, and also when you trigger the final checkpoint. So whenever you hear the whenever you hear the drums going, you know that I have reached the final checkpoint of the current level. Right here, this bridge is actually one of the traps in this game. That bridge, it's you can see it's kind of a seesaw. And if you just go over it at full speed, it will actually not toggle over. It will only kind of... It will remain in the position that it was in, and then you're stuck on the wrong side. This game has a lot of things like that that are kind of meant to trap you. Luckily for me, they don't really matter unless I sleep and don't pay attention to what I'm doing, which does happen on occasion, but casually they are quite annoying, and I feel like one of the few kind of negative points I have about this game, where the design could be a bit more friendly to just like making mistakes and exploring. There you could actually hear the end jingle for a little bit. It's very faint though. Not sure if that was possible to be made out on stream, but rest assured it is there. Oh, these boxes are in quite the... There we go. Got past them after all. I think this is our first little elevator. Those platforms are always weighed down by those individual segments around the edges, which you have to push off in order for the platform to rise. Yeah. Oh. So that is sometimes rather tricky because it's very easy to accidentally overshoot and push yourself off along with them. All right. Right now I just have like a chill little section with the paper ball. So if there are any messages, feel free to read them to us.
Absolutely. We have a very, very fitting donation message here from Ukyu donating €3 saying, heck it, we ball. Keep rolling, rolling, rolling around. Good luck.
There will certainly be a lot of rolling here.
And on the topic of balls in this game, do you have a favorite material to control?
I mean, it kind of depends on the circumstances. In most circumstances, I guess it's wood. I think I don't really have a favorite. I just have a least favorite, which is paper, because it just... Yeah, that dome is just... Okay, I don't know why it's that distorted. It's not usually like that. Anyways, the paper, it just kind of... It doesn't go straight. You can kind of tell when you look at it that it's a little bit bumpy. So it just kind of jostles around a whole bunch. It's basically the only source of randomness in this game. Otherwise, like, pretty much everything else is very deterministic. As long as you do like the same inputs, everything will just work out. But paper just throws a curveball at you wherever it can, and it enables some amazing skips. But it also means that by its nature, it makes those skips like not 100% consistent, which is kind of frustrating when you're like on a nice pace run, and then you just get a random paper bounce out of nowhere, and now you just lost a minute because paper.
It does kind of seem like it has a kind of a mind on its own. So would you say that the wood ball just has a nice balance to it?
I would certainly say so, yes. Oh, okay, just leave me behind then. Usually this cycle on that swing works out, that you can just go into the transformer and go back, but I guess something was different this time. All right, that was level 8. Now we're actually going into level 9, where we're going to see a lot more skewed camera. But first, completely skipping the first checkpoint by just zipping over to it and avoiding out. And now I will mostly turn the camera. Come on. Yeah, like so. And make my way over to here, where I can just drop directly down like this. This is normally not possible, but again, because I have the camera offset, I can just skip down to the next platform, because I can just go slightly faster than the game intends for you to be. Something that is very tricky about this game is that pretty much everywhere you go, it throws like these narrow paths at you. So you constantly got to be watching out where you're going and which direction you're pressing, because otherwise you'll just go off the edge. Which I feel like it could have done with like a bit of breathing room every now and then, but here we are. Speaking of breathing room, we have climbed our way up to outer space, so there certainly will be no breathing up here. I'm not sure how these fans are working, to be honest, but I trust they have the technology. Anyways, we'll slowly push this stone wall on the other side out of the way so we can pass through. I will go for this right away once. This is one of those random paper bounces where sometimes it just works and other times it does not, as you can see there. It's not too big of a deal. I can just work around that, but it is slightly slower. So I was really hoping the paper would just be nice to me for once. Well, I'll retry that. Do you have any further messages?
Boy, do we. We are keeping the ball jokes going right here. We have €3 from Bad Donation Man with the message that reads, I couldn't speedrun this game. Mine are too big to fit on the rails.
Oh my. Don't applaud for that. That was... Nah. Disgusting. Come on. Too much information. Right there, that might have been... Oh no, it wasn't our first encounter with sandbags. But this right here is another one of those curveballs the game throws at you, where usually with those weighted platforms, you're supposed to just throw everything off of them. But right there, actually, if you push more than 3 of the weights off the platform, it rises too high and you can no longer continue. Tough luck. You just gotta throw yourself off the edge and try again. Hope you brought some extra lives. If the camera decided to turn, that would be phenomenal. There we go. Oh, what? What? Had a slight input problem there. I'm not sure whether I just completely blanked and forgot to press a button or whether something about the setup decided to just drop my input. Can't say that I've had that issue before. You might have also noticed me before just climbing over these toppling bridges by running up to them and just kind of climbing over the bumper part. That again is an artifact of the diagonal camera. During intended normal gameplay, you would not be able to do that because you do not have enough force to climb up. Oh well. Right here I have to, well, I don't have to, but I really want to skip most of this checkpoint by going off to this side rail and jumping to that part on the right. You can see that loop. But when I got here initially, I still had an offset camera, which does make it very tricky because it makes it really hard to see where I am on the rail. And it also makes it very much harder to control in order to stay on the rail. So even when I'm seeing where I am, it's just harder to control. However, right here, I will be wanting to turn my camera again so that I can... come on. Wiggle into position. So that I can skip over another one of these bridges. There we go. Climbed right over. Now here, need to be careful not to go too fast, because these curves are way too tight for the kinds of speeds I can go at if I just hold down inputs. So I gotta be very careful not to overspeed, because otherwise I just get flung out. Ooh, aw. Slightly concerning. I have run out of all lives, so I guess I will take this a bit more carefully. Yeah, I will actually take this extra carefully, by just turning it to stone and just clearing everything out of the way here. Oh, please don't get stuck like that. That's very, very rude of you. Don't make me regret my choices. There we, oh, God, I accidentally tapped the wrong button there. It's fine. There we go. And that's an extra life, so I no longer have to worry. If I still had my offset camera here, I could actually just go straight across all of these fans and just go straight to the exit, because I have enough velocity to just make it across the gaps that you're supposed to clear with the paper, but I would rather take it safe there. Now we're on to level 11, the second to last level. Ooh. First of all, again, just using some extra momentum to skip the first checkpoint, as in pretty much every level. And then here I will be... there's this puzzle here where you're supposed to toggle this two-sided bridge, but you can just kind of drop into that little hole to skip that part of the checkpoint, and then you get another one of those toggle bridges. Sadly, here we cannot really skip much of anything. Instead, I can absolutely trap myself if I decide to go down the right path first without dropping this bridge down. I'm just stuck. So that's another one of those fun game design choices that developers decided to include. Wait, I actually want to be... I was meant to turn the camera earlier, but I forgot. It is really being uncooperative. It can turn faster than this, but whoops, going the wrong way. Turn myself around. Spinning the camera so much, even I lose track of where I'm going. Ooh. Okay, that's mildly concerning, but it worked out. Here you're supposed to push all of these boxes out of the way, but instead I am just going to use this box in order to jump straight over. Oh, that was a bit too much velocity. Well, we'll get back there in no time. In the meantime, do you have another message?
Indeed, I do. We have a €10 donation from Legally Distinct Duke Nukem saying, "I've got balls of steel."
Nah, I'm sorry, we don't have those in this game.
No, we've got balls of stone, wood, or paper. Take
Yeah,
your pick.
you gotta choose. You can't go around adding new ones. That's illegal. Ooh, that was a bit close. I almost pushed that box too far. There we go. And now here the game, it wants you to turn into a stone ball to push this other stone ball out of the way, but because I have so much velocity, I can just kind of make it over that. And then I can jump this bridge and just fall over with it in order to skip a large part of that. Whoa, that was not concerning at all. And now here we have another section where the paper ball needs to cooperate. So if it does that, I will be very happy, but I'm not holding my breath. We will see. Maybe it feels like being nice today. So here I can skip over this gap. Okay, that's the first bit done. And then I can get on top of this. And oh, there we go. Need to make it to the next checkpoint without accidentally getting lost. There we go. Okay. Made it past that section. Oh, and I immediately lost track of where I was going. The tilted camera really is quite confusing. But I can't really blame the game for that. It was not intended for that after all. So, okay, that was just me not holding the correct input. Okay, let's take this a bit more carefully now. We have run out of extra lives. It would be quite costly to fall now. Okay, let's turn the camera for this. Well, I say it would be quite costly to fall, but actually here the quickest way actually is to just fall right to the end. There's no death trigger there to stop you from doing this. So you can just kind of skip over everything and make your way over here. I am not going around the left side there because I've no extra lives and I'm not willing to risk it. All right, that is level 11 done. On to level 12. Slightly mistimed that. Here right away I'm trying to... Whoops. I'm trying to buffer a sideways input. You will see why in a second. But working with buffered inputs is always kind of confusing because it offsets all of your movement directions. Anyways, now I can go zooming. Oh, I actually got a perfect alignment. Oh, whoops, that was too much speed. Let's try that again. All right. Yeah, welcome to level 12. You may have noticed the foreboding maelstrom in the distance. I'm not sure what's up with that. The game doesn't really have any lore to speak of. It just kind of is. But this level is certainly something when you play it casually for the first time. It is very imposing, especially with all these. I am not doing a good job with these rails right now. Maybe I should not try to buffer this input. Maybe I should just go at normal speed, like a normal person. But with the fun in that. Yeah, so the game intends you to just continue straight through this intersection with while you're aligned with this rail. Please. Okay, we get there. It's good enough, I'll take it. All right, made it out of the first two checkpoints. Yeah, so the intended mechanic of this level is that you perfectly align yourself with one of these single rails, and then you can actually like go across them. Like, for example, right here, this is one of these alignment points. If I go onto this rail, I don't have to press anything. I just stay on it. But usually these alignment points are placed in very awkward locations, and it's not really fast to go for them. So instead we just kind of freehand the whole thing. But that means a lot of micro corrections. For example, right here, I have to stay on this rail for a very long time in order to make it all the way over here and skip that entire section. Now we just got some more weighted platforms, so why don't you hit us with another message?
Absolutely. We have another €3 donation from Bad Donations person. This game took Ball is Life to a new level, and honestly, yeah, going over a Maelstrom on single rails is definitely taking it to a new level. This looks a bit intense, I'll be real.
Yes, 8-year-old me was certainly very enamored with this game. Especially this level. I'm not sure how many attempts it took me to beat this for the first time, but must have been quite a few. Because this level, unlike all of the others, which all have 5 checkpoints, this level has 7 checkpoints. On top of the just general difficulty spike that this level represents. So it is quite the final challenge. Well, I say final challenge, but actually this game does have a DLC level, level 13, also known as the Twilight Zone, which was just uploaded to the developer's homepage at some point. I don't even remember when. The homepage has since gone down, but I do have like a zip of it. But that level is not that fun to speedrun, sadly, because though it is very difficult, it is also very, very heavily cycle-based. You rely a lot on other physics objects to like clear the path for you and manipulating them in order to go places, which is just not very fun in a speedrun setting. Anyways, here we have this stack of boxes blocking our way, but we aren't gonna let that stop us, hopefully. We've got a few lives to work with. Just avoiding that wood transformer since I need to turn back into paper anyways for this. Okay, I lost it. Yeah, usually I'm relatively good at being on a single rail with like wood and even with paper, but this one is very tricky because you have to approach it sideways and then stop in time, and it's behind the stack of boxes where you can't see. All right, I have spent all my life, so I will take a more careful approach now. I will actually take the alignment here and still jump over here. Now I will instead make my way over here, turn to stone, and do this like semi-intended. I'm just kind of gonna manually line myself up here, go all the way over here in order to make sure that I'm actually truly aligned for this section, and boop these boxes out of the way. And now, do I risk it? I don't risk it. I'm sorry, but this is the last, well, the semi-last checkpoint, but like the last checkpoint where anything can really go wrong. I don't want to redo the entire level. So I'm just gonna take this a bit more slowly than I would like to. Hop over this. And now we're just aligned. So this is kind of the intended solution for this. If I was paper here, I could actually have cut just in front of this stone transformer, and I would have been able to cut across these inverted half pipes a bit more quickly. And now, oh no! Okay, that is unfortunate, but we've got some time on our hands. Look, let's just do it again. It was so fun. Just try again. Yes, this game is quite punishing. Let me just pick up this extra life while I'm at it. Might as well. I will take it a bit more safely now in the first half so that I can ensure I have enough lives to make it all the way through. Ooh. Well, I say that, and then I immediately go and... come on. I know this is possible. Can I please? Nope, not quite. It's not intended, but it is possible to push this thing over. There we go. Yeah, staying as the wooden ball there is slightly faster because then you don't have to transform back into wood for this section. Also, another thing about the single rails is whenever there's a rail where you're intended to go onto it as like a single rail and balance on it, it actually has different collision to these double rails. The single rails, they have a flat top. It is very, very narrow, so hitting it manually is quite tricky. Oh, what am I? Okay, do not restart the level. Hitting the flat spot manually is quite tricky, but it is doable. It is like a few pixels wide. If you just like tap back and forth a few times, you can usually get it. It's not that bad. But with dual rails like this, where you're not intended to go on either side of them, they actually have a pointy top. So no matter how well you align yourself, you can never, holy crap, you can never stay centered on them. So you constantly have to fight to stay in the middle. Come on. Am I really going to have to resort to pause buffering for this after I already did it once? I guess I will have to. Well, you've seen me do it before. I guess you will get to see the beginner strat, since apparently I have turned into a beginner now. Yeah, by just mashing pause here, you just get more time to react to the movements of the ball, and it becomes a lot easier to perform that skip. That particular one is very long though, so it is... I feel like that one is like one of the biggest difficulty spikes for speedrunning, especially level 12. Just because there's not really another option for skipping that entire section. So it's either that or the intended way, and the intended way is very long. Also, another root bit here, right? That drop into the paper transformer, it actually looks like it will drop you perfectly into the transformer, but actually if you just keep holding forwards, it'll drop you one tile past it perfectly into the gap, where you then fall to your death and get to do that whole section again. All right, just remember to push these balls far enough. Well, didn't quite hit the trick on this, but that's fine. I can just climb back up. All right, let's... I mean, I have some lives to spare. I guess let's try. Okay, or I don't. I will try it once, so I still have a life left for the last section. I will not try it twice. Because, holy hell, I do not want to do this level a third time. Okay, never mind. It's even pause buffering is not helping. I was just not aligned enough. Oh well. Why did I do this? Okay, please. You just said you didn't want to risk it. So why are you going across it with a paper ball? Come on. Are you aligned? You're not aligned. That does not look aligned. Ah! Alright, let's make our way across over here. This again, and this time very carefully gonna align. That is not aligned. That is still not aligned. Come on. Ah! There's so much inertia, it just doesn't want to stop. Ah, please! Okay, this looks good enough, at least for a while. No! Okay, that's... I'm sorry. This is basically the end of the game. I'm not gonna make you watch me do the final level again. That would be a bit much. It's a bit unfortunate that it happened this way, but sometimes things just don't work out quite as you want them to. That's all right.
Sometimes it happens. Don't worry about it, Leemyy. Thank you very much for showing us this much of Ballance. I'll be honest, that looks stressful.
Believe me, it is.
Yeah. So thank you very much. And yeah, we're going to take it up to a quick break. We have one more run coming up for you. And we're going to go to a little ad break, do some setup. And yeah, then the final run of the day.
All right.
Thank you very much.
See you, everyone.